tao. Kunyari, mag-tree planting ka. At yung iimbitahin mong bisita ay gagastos ka ng milyon-milyon. Eh di mag-utos ka na lang ng mag-tree planting at yung milyon-milyon na yon ay gabitin na lang sa ibang bahay na si Juan at si Maria de la Cruz ang magbebenepisyo.
Well, even if you go back and review and analyze, even the Civil Service Code, our government structure is patterned in such a way that there will be coordination, there will be cooperation among divisions, different units in one agency, and also for them to the structure of by which it was designed ay para malaman hindi lang yung cooperation but even the accountability. Parang based on the testimonies of these two witnesses na nakaraan, si Ms. Gina Acosta at si Mr. Ortorio, parang ang hirap magtrabaho sa opisina ng Vice President na nakaupo ay si Vice President Sara Duterte. Kasi instead of cooperation, ang rule of the day is secrecy. Hindi alam ng bawat division kung saan napupunta ang pera. Speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. Mukhang yan yung guiding principle sa opisina ng Vice President. No? So again, sa sinasabi po natin, itong si Ms. Gina Acosta at saka si Mr. Ortonio, parang it was not their personal decision to simply surrender part of their mandate to Mr. La Chica, but they were actually told so by the Vice President. It was the Vice President decision that weakens the accountability and weakens the way by which handling of confidential funds, which is supposed to be guided by a very strict joint circular, was collapsed because of the mere instruction. Again, not to ask too many questions, not to ask questions, but to simply sign documents, whatever are the documents presented to you, and then to hand it over to a specific person, which is unbonded, not in any way connected administratively, so much more as handling funds of the OVP, in the person of Colonel La Chica. So kung ako yung personal observation ko, hindi ako naniniwala sa mga template na sagot ni Ms. Gina Acosta tsaka si Mr. Ortonio pagdating doon sa hindi nila masagot ng mga katanungan kasi yung mismong dokumento ang nagsasalita. Ang mismong dokumento ang nagpo-prove na talagang meron at the very least, kung sila man ay tunay na kawani ng gobyerno, meron at the very least negligence of their duty, dereliction of their duty. And again, what makes it worse is these are not done by personal choice, but this was actually ordered by their superior. In this case, the Vice President Sara Duterte.
Okay, salamat po. Pakinggan naman natin ngayon ang katanungan ni Haji. Go ahead.
Magandang hapon po, Haji Kaaminyo, Brigada News FM. Susugan ko lang yung paunang statement ni Kong Pao kanina. Kalabuyo, kasinigang, kaadobo, Marshal Bonifacio, ilan po sa mga alias na binanggit ni Senator Judge Robin Padilla kanina. But how do you take these type of questions from a Senator Judge na yun nga po, parang ang dating dinidefend yung paggamit nga ng confidential funds and even yung prosecution tinatanong din po niya direkta kanina. Tapos pumunta pa dun sa point na yung kung may confidentials daw ba noon si Senator Ninoy Aquino hindi siya na-assassinate.
Ikaw, anong gusto mo na alias mo kung sakaling magkaka-alias ka?
Ako kasi wala akong confidential.
Ganun ba? Hindi, ano naman, nasagot naman actually eksakto pag turnover nung time, si Senator Bam yung sumagot. Sinabi niya na, yes, may alias po si Ninoy, pero wala po siyang confidential funds. And klaro naman po siguro yun, no? Hindi ka naman po babansagan na bayani o hero kung gagamitin mo sa hindi maganda at maayos na paraan ng confidential funds o kahit pondo naman po ng gobyerno. Hindi ko po alam kung meron ng confidential funds nung mga panahon na yon. Pero I doubt if papayag itong mga tunay na bayani at mga bayani para gamitin yon. Then yung pangalawang tanong mo, ano na ulit yun, Haji? Yung parang follow-up niya?
Ayun nga po, kung yung mga ganitong types of questions nga po from a senator judge, ayun nga. Anong ano niyo doon? Anong take niyo doon sa mga ganong klase ng tanong, considering na parang dinedefend nga po yung use of confidential funds?
Hindi, nasagot din po yan ni Attorney May, no? Na wala pong problema sa aliases or dun sa confidential funds. Basta, nagagamit po ng tama, nasusunod po yung proseso, complete staff work, liquidation. Kung sa umpisa pa lang, pag-request mo hanggang sa financial plan, hanggang sa liquidation, sablay ka na, may problema na talaga. Malaking question mark na. Kaya po sila nafa-flag. Kaya po tayo nandito ngayon sa impeachment. So siguro yung pagtatanong nila ng gano'n, baka gusto nila ng fun facts o history lesson o meron silang gustong tumbukin sa kanilang mga pagtatanong or they're preaching to acquire, siguro po okay lang yun at total nasasagot naman po. At nabibigyan naman po ng kalinawan. Kasi madalas po prosecution po ang tinatanong ng ating senator judge. Nasasagot naman po ng maayos. So wala naman po akong pag-aalala sa part po ng prosecutors.
Ako may tanong. Ano bang ibig sabihin nun, hinahalin tulad nila ang pangalawang pangulo sa isang bayani? Yung ba? Or balikan natin, ulitin natin. Ang confidential funds ay ginagamit para proteksyonan ang sambayan ng Pilipino against terrorism, drugs, kidnapping, at iba pang karumal-dumal na krimen. Hindi siya ginagamit para proteksyonan ng isang mataas na opisyal. Iba ang pondo para dyan. So wag nating ilihis ang usapin dun sa impeachment trial, ibalik natin dun sa pinag-uusapan. Walang problemang gumamit ng alias because we would like to protect the personalities involved. Pero tila dito, bakit mo gagawa ng isa, medyo mga bastos pa yung mga pangalan. Parang ginawang katawa-tawa, ginawang laro. Pero ang pinakamalaking tanong dito, ano ang naging punto? Because while the informants can have aliases, yung punto dulo, yung output ay hindi pwedeng maging confidential. Ang tanong, saan ba ginamit? Kasi kung confidential yung mga pangalan, alias yung mga pangalan, alangan namang alias. Kapag alias ang output, kung alias ang isang programa, isa lang ang ibig sabihin doon. Ghost ang naging paggastos ng confidential fund.
Well, with due respect to my brother in faith and sitting senator, I think those national heroes whose aliases were referenced would be probably rolling in their graves, no? After their nom de guerre, no? I think these are nom de guerre, no? Were mentioned in the same context as the allegation of misuse of confidential funds, no? To be mentioned with the same breath as Mary Grace Piatos, Mr. Pagong, Ms. Pusa, Ms. Bilat is no, but that's what the name reflected in the AR, di ba? Kaya nga sinasabi natin, Ms. Bilat is already a way, a travesty to the memories and to the legacy which these national heroes have imparted to benefit the Filipino nation. No? To be put them on the equal footing as Miko Harina, as Andilim, as Miss Ngit-Ngit, is already again an insult to the sacrifices they have made for this country. And their death, no, the sacrifices they have made, kasi malapit na pang National Heroes Day, the sacrifices they have made is actually diametrically opposite to the very practice of which these confidential funds were handled. So hindi po dapat yun ang analogy ang gamitin natin. And let us be specific about this. This is about auditing problem. This is about whether or not aliases are necessary in order to maintain confidentiality of a operation that requires safety and security of whoever is involved, not a test of anybody's patriotism. So dapat po makontextualize po natin yan. Una, ang problema po dito as explicitly explained by Deputy Speaker Janet Garin, ang usapin po dito ay audit problem. May problema po ang OVP sa sinubmit nilang mga liquidation. At sinabi po nila, inassume nga po ito na Ms. Gina Acosta kasi wala nga po talaga siya doon sa ground kung totoo ba na si Ms. Ngit-Ngit ay nakakuha ng 200 million worth of confidential funds, hindi niya masabi, ang assumption niya is confidentiality. That's why si Senator Judge Ping Lacson stood up because knowing him, yung background po niya, nasa investigation po siya, alam po niya kung paano a confidential or intelligence activity are being conducted, and after the success of this activity, meron pong disclassification period where yung security access nitong mga aliases are actually debundled and disclassified for auditing purposes. Tanungin natin, if ever granting na tama yung sinabi ni Ms. Gina Acosta ng mga aliases ito, dapat may pangalan na tunay. Kasi for the purpose of auditing, hindi ibig sabihin na confidential ito, again and again, ay dapat habang buhay na nating hindi iitatanong. At hindi just ibig sabihin na confidential in nature na ito, ay mawawalan ng kapangyarihan ang Commission on Audit para kunin sa busisiin ang pinaggastusan ng pera ng taong bayan. That's the mandate of the COA. No amount of confidential activity can ever weaken the constitutional mandate of the Commission on Audit in finding out what happened to the money of the people, especially if this money is being spent or should be handled strictly under a very strict joint circular. So klaro po yun. This is not an issue of patriotism. This is an issue of audit problem which now the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education, when the Vice President sat as the Secretary of this department, are facing trouble with in terms of auditing with COA.
In short, yung mga bayani po natin, yung ating mga hero, nagkaroon po at gumamit po at binansagan po ng mga ganitong pangalan dahil pinaglalaban po nila yung bansa, pinaglalaban po nila yung mga kabutihan na nagagawa ng ating mga hero. Hindi po sila bumuo at gumawa ng mga aliases para po magawa po yung ginagawang chichiregang scam. Hindi naman po pang panloloko o pang-abuso ng pondo. Yung mga bansag na to, ginamit po para ipaglaban ang cause ng bansa.
Okay, last question na lang po. Kanina may dilema si Senator Judge Mig Zubiri na parang umaapela nga po siya na sana yung Commission on Audit daw po makapag-decide na po with finality dun po sa mga inaapela ng Office of the Vice President with regards to the use of confidential funds. Although meron ng notice of disallowance for the 73 million pesos, pero if I'm not mistaken, yung 375 ina-appeal pa no, ng OVP. Pero sa palagay po ninyo, makakaapekto po ba yung dilema nung, well, kung hindi man lang si Senator Zubiri yung may ganitong klase ng concern na sana may finality na po, makakaapekto po ba yon sa inyong Article 1 or yun pong confidential funds article, or palagay ninyo hindi naman po kasi political exercise naman po ang impeachment trial ni VP Sara?
It will strengthen. Kasi nakikita naman natin, alam naman natin, a COA report, especially if the decision will be final, ay magsisimbing selyo no, magre-reaffirm, magko-confirm, magsasabing totoong-totoo ang sinasabi ng prosecution?
Una, yung I don't want to use agitated na, no, or masyado nang anxious ang ating mga senator judges in finding out the truth, kasi matagal na rin natin pinag-uusapan ito, no, kasi we always reference the committee hearing on the Committee on Good Government last Congress, no. So I think that's a manifestation na gusto ng ating mga senador na makitang kabuuan yung magiging picture nito, because the defense has been arguing na it's not yet final. By the way, just for the information of the body, no, to the public, final na po yung sa confidential funds 2022 last quarter of 2022, no, pinapabalik nga po 73 million, kung di ako nagkakamali, 73 million pesos ng 125 million confidential funds covering the 11 days expenditure nito ay pinapasauli na po ng COA. So as far as COA is concerned, it's final. No? So we're talking about the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter of OVP confidential funds, and with that of Department of Education. So again, naintindihan ho natin yung kanilang gigil, no, kung if I may use the word, na malaman po nila yung katotohanan. Dahil paano mo nga malalaman, yung dalawang testigo mo, wala silang kaalam-alam. Alam nila, pumipirma lang sila, alam nila, binibigay lang nila pera, nakita nila yung pera, tapos hindi nila alam kung paano ginasta. So, ang may alam naman ng paggasta, ang Vice President, ayaw naman pumunta, ayaw naman mag-offer ng kanyang explanation. So talagang it left our senator judges to maybe find out other acts, other means in order for them to appreciate fully kung ano yung problema na ito. So again, tayo naman dito sa House Prosecution Panel, magko-comply naman kung ano yung magiging direktiba ng impeachment court. Kasi ang sabi naman ng presiding officer, the court is a passive recipient of all the documents that would be requested by both panels to be subpoenaed. But may sinayit siya na ruling ng Supreme Court doon na at maybe they can also do the same, maybe motu proprio, exercise their own power to subpoena whatever documents that are necessary for them to help them, assist them in reaching an impartial judgment. So we just would like to rely on whatever is the court's decision as of the request, in relation to the request of Senator Zubiri.
All right. Thank you, Haji. Joseph?
So just on the last quarter ng OVP funds 2022, isn't that under MR sa commission proper? Tama ba? MR yun.
Tapos na. Nag-MR na po sila. They filed na ng MR and it was actually denied. No? They reviewed... By the NBank. Yeah, by the NBank. So it was already denied. In fact, the decision was to restitute. Kung di ako nagkakamali, correct me if I'm wrong, you have the data, mas alam niyo po yung data. I think mga nasa 70 plus million pesos that has to be restituted immediately by the OVP. Is it 75?
73.
73.2.
Sir, konti lang. I'll ask about the reaction on the ruling on the sub judice on two aspects as it affects you and as it relates to the Vice President.
Well, the sub judice rule naman encompasses not only the prosecution panel but even the defense, the senator judges, and as well as the witnesses to be presented by both panels, diba? But ang sabi namin, it should also extend to the respondent. Kasi nga, she is not only a vital, important person in this trial, she is the most important person in this trial because this is her trial. Diba? So whatever she says should also be applied, whatever she says should also be guided by the sub judice rule. Diba? Ang mga recent na statements niya, bending the law, referring to I don't know if she was referring to the Senate President sitting beside the presiding officer because she was referencing to two men sitting on the podium ata, bending the law. So there's no other two persons sitting on top of the podium other than the Senate President and the presiding officer. So that in any way attacking not only the personality of the senator judges, but the entirety and of the integrity of the court. And just while the presiding officer was reading this very lengthy decision of the court, the Vice President came out with another statement. Sinasabi niya, just to judge the evidence, hindi lang daw magdrama-drama. So the way she looks at this impeachment trial is just an episode of series of drama. So she trivializes the discussion in the impeachment court by describing it as a drama. I mean, siya lang ata yung hindi ata nakukumbinsi sa mga ebidensya na pinapakita ng prosecution. In fact, as a matter of fact, yung confidence ng prosecution panel is so high that we thought that we needed to reduce the number of potential witnesses on the first article that we have presented before the court, diba? Just to save time for the court's time, diba? I mean, so describing it as a drama, as a is also in a way an attack on the integrity of the court. So I think consistent lang ang ating Vice President that she, being a lawyer herself, may very well know, I presume, she is very well conscious about the sub judice rule. Even without this trial of hers being conducted in the Senate, she already familiar with the principle of sub judice rule. So, having known that, being a lawyer, still, she came out with these statements, no? I think consistent lang siya. Na wala talaga siyang, para sa akin, na fina-follow na rules. Wala siyang nirerespeto na proceedings. If you go back to the time that we were conducting the hearing in the House of Representatives, she's questioning the jurisdiction of the House, even went up to the Supreme Court to question the jurisdiction, while she was also saying, and her team, that they were only answer this allegation at the proper forum. So ngayon na nandito na tayo sa proper forum, sinasabi naman niya drama. So I think she's just being consistent about not respecting any legal processes, which to me only manifests the kind of attitude that she has, that she holds herself above our laws.
Balikan ko lang yung katanungan.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Ang tanong niyo po is, ano ang komento namin doon sa sub judice rule na sinabi ng ating presiding officer? We respect the impeachment court. We respect what the presiding officer has said. We will abide. May epekto ba ito sa prosecution? Somehow it will have an effect, but we will do the necessary innovations kasi hindi kami papayag na hindi maabot ng bawat Maria at Juan de la Cruz ang impormasyon, ang totoong impormasyon, the facts that are happening within the impeachment court.
I'm just curious, by innovation,
We will announce it at
Adjust.
the proper time, no? Siyempre meron naman tayong, marami naman, 11 ang prosecutors. So, kung mawalan man ng isa o dalawa para maging spokesperson or taga-update ng mga nangyayari is hindi siya it will not affect the presentations of the prosecutors dahil kumpiyansa kami na andun yung lahat, kumbaga kumpiyansa kami sa impormasyon na hawak ng buong team. So there will be probably announcements in the next few days.
Hindi pa ba kayo busog kay Zia? Ako, busog na ako dito eh. Pag-uusapan, not yet decided. Actually, yeah, we will probably have this week.
Attorney Adjong.
All right. Let's hear from Lenesca.
Good afternoon, sir. Ma'am, Lianes Kapating, GMA News Online. Yung sa huli lang po, lead prosecutor Luistro raised about the vice president's statements just, I think, just a few minutes after the ruling on the sub judice. Medyo mabigat din po yung kanyang mga sinabi doon sa kanyang statement. And the decision of the court was just to remind Senator Escudero, asked Attorney Sison to remind her client about future statements. Do you find that unfair given na reminder lang when it was, kasi sinabi prospective yung application.
No,
so sa tingin niyo po ba unfair yun na reminder lang yung in-issue kay Vice President Duterte?
Again, uulitin namin, we respect the presiding officer of the impeachment court. Hindi namin nakikitang unfair yon. Klaro naman ang sinabi ni Senator Chis Escudero, maglalabas sila ng guidelines, hindi lamang para sa prosecution, para sa defense, para sa accused, at nakalaan doon ano ang pwede, ano hindi pwede, at ano ang corresponding penalties. So we find that fair.
Well, I think the way, the language that was used by the presiding officer, of course, you cannot also deny the fact that who is under trial here is also the second highest official of the land. So meaning to say, you cannot also discount the fact that she occupies a certain office that also deserves a certain, courtesy, at least by way of the court's wordings in their decision, no? Kasi nga ang pinag-uusapan natin sa subjudicial portion of that is decorum. So I think if I would analyze the directive, the mere fact that the presiding officer was requested to also channel that advice to the court, the defense, indicates really that there is something not right when it comes to the kind of sayings or attitude of the way the Vice President describes this ongoing impeachment trial, diba? So somebody really has to advise her to behave. Yun lang talaga. I think it would also give, it would to her advantage, no, for a change, no. It will give her for a change. It will give her something to her advantage if she just simply follow after following this ruling of the court, to just simply remain silent about how the proceedings are being conducted in the Senate, so that her defense team will no longer be requested to also respond to issues that may arise in the future should the Vice President come out with another statement, again, questioning the trial. Kasi meron ng basis ang pwedeng gamitin ng prosecution, at ito na yung ruling ng impeachment trial.
Alright. May follow-up pala, Agnieszka?
One follow-up lang po yung sinabi dun kasi towards the end sinabi yung questioning po ni Senator Raffy Tulfo. Ortonio said na, I'm not sure if that is my responsibility to inquire kung saan napunta yung OVP confidential funds, prompting Senator Tulfo to say na it defies logic. Do you share the sentiments po of Senator Tulfo? Kasi sinabi niya, I'm not sure if it was my responsibility to know. Thank you.
Ibabalik ko nga yung sinabi ko kanina. Nagulat kami doon sa testimonya ni Sir Lemuel Ortonio nung sinabi niyang tila pinapalabas niya na ang confidential fund is meant to protect the life of the Vice President. Uulitin po natin. Yung Memorandum Circular number 15, the use of confidential fund ay para sugpuin ang kriminalidad kagaya ng droga, terorismo, kidnapping, economic sabotage, at kung ano pang ibang mga bagay that will affect the general population of the Philippines. Doon naman sa sinasabi niyang hindi niya alam, syempre malaking it is inconsistent doon sa mga una niyang mga sinasagot, dahil inamin naman niyang siya ay Assistant Chief of Staff, siya ang pumirma ng mga papel, at ang pinirmahan niya ay vouchers at mga papeles As admin and finance officer, syempre kaakibat doon, alam mo kung saan paggagamitan, ano ang paggagamitan. Pero napakaklaro din doon sa sinabi niya na lahat ng pinaggamitan ay alam ng head of office. At walang iba yun, kundi yung ating pangalawang Pangulo, si Vice President Inday Sara Duterte.
Wait, respond lang ako dun sa ano kasi si Pao kasi inaantay ko yung response niya. Anyway, again, I don't agree. I don't agree with Mr. Ortonio. Neither was he agreeing with himself. Kasi he was not sure. Ibig sabihin, hindi talaga siya din sigurado kung dapat or hindi niya dapat itanong. So I don't agree with how he would think how he would think that should he restrict himself. Kasi unang-una, hindi kung private money ito ng Vice President, wala talagang dapat itanong si Mr. Limuel Ortorio. Ito, pinag-usapan natin dito yung confidential funds, saan napunta. Tapos siya pa yung may general supervision over this confidential funds. Siya yung pumipirma siya yung pumipirma ng release nung vouchers, yung checks, etc. So dapat nga tanungin niya at the very least, 'di ba? Kaya nga yung sinasabi ko, mahirap magtrabaho ata sa Office of the Vice President kasi parang secrecy ang rule of the day. Hindi mo alam kung halimbawa hindi ka dapat magtanong, walang cooperation, walang coordination, basta dumaan sa iyo yung dokumento, pirmahan mo na lang. Ang problema, kawawa yung mga empleyado. Dahil sa ganitong paraan, sa ganitong sitwasyon, sila yung mukhang nagkakaroon ng problema. Nasasama sila sa ganitong klaseng problema. Kung may kaso, kasama sila sa mga kaso. So, I think hindi ako naniniwala as part of his part of that mandate or that authority to supervise with general supervision. That would also include asking questions, inquiring. Especially this is a fund. This is a money that we're talking about. How can you supervise when you don't even ask questions kung saan napupunta at saan galing, 'di ba? So I do not agree with him, neither based on his answer, neither was he agreeing to himself.
Okay, good afternoon, Kongs. Alison ko, ABS-CBN News. Just a quick follow-up lang, Kong Zia, dun sa remark mo. You said confidence ng prosecution is so high na binawasan na po natin yung witnesses for the first article. Does this mean is this the reason po why we dropped Major Bahaw? And does this mean, sir, na we won't be calling on Colonel La Chica amid the continuous prodding pa rin from Senator Judges?
The confidence that I was referring to is in the context of establishing the necessary testimonies and presenting it, corroborating it with evidence is concerned. So, ibig sabihin, pag na-reach na namin yung point na na-supply po namin yung dapat na malaman ng ating mga huwis, mga hukom, confident na po na kami na na-establish namin yung facts. No? So yun po yung confidence na pinag-uusapan po natin dito. Indicative nung time na hindi na ho namin pinatawag yung mga other witnesses para din po mag-save ng time. So ibig sabihin, if the fact has been already established, there's no more reason for us to continue on discussing the same subject matter because it would be repetitive. And that would also cost time for the court to be wasted, no? Instead of using it to another witness or another article. So yun po yung ano. As to the La Chica issue, again, I think you already have been informed that there's that possibility that since it was already established na si Vice President Sara Duterte ang nag-utos kay Ms. Gina Acosta para i-transfer yung pera kay Colonel La Chica at si Ms. Gina Acosta hindi niya alam kung paano ginamit ang pera, hindi niya ma-account kung talagang natanggap yung pera ng Ms. Mary Grace Piatos o ano-anong pangalan nga nandoon. Tapos hindi rin niya at si Ms. Colonel La Chica din yung nag-supply sa kanya ng mga specific na activities na ilalagay dun sa financial and physical plan, while si Mr. Limuel Ortonio, sinabi rin niya na hindi niya si Colonel Lachica din yung pinagbigyan ng confidential funds, do pumirma siya doon sa liquidation yung checks, yung pag-release ng checks, pero hindi niya din alam kung paano ginamit. Nalaman lang niya nung meron ng AOM, tapos ang nag-supply sa kanya ng information on how to respond to the AOM ay si Colonel Lachica. We already established that it was Colonel Lachica who implemented disbursed. Again, it was clarified the presiding officer. They avoid the word disburse kasi alam nilang malileche sila dun eh. But there's no other way to explain it kasi siya yung nagbigay ng pera. They disbursed the money to the informants, which is the very same topic that we are discussing here, because the ARs are, again, bawal yung 400 pagbibigay ng medisina, bawal yung tables and chairs, etc. So maraming bawal na-violate nila. So na-establish na yon. So I think on that note, ang prosecution are still continuing to decide on whether to call Colonel Lachica. But the fact that he has already been, the fact that already been established that it was Colonel Lachica, hindi banded, hindi connected sa OVP, isa lang siyang commander ng VSPG, wala siyang mandato, wala siyang authority para gamitin ng pera, pero siyang gumamit ng pera dahil sa kautusan ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Accountability-wise, sabi ni DS Janet Garin, is moving upward. Si Vice President lang at si Colonel Lachica ang may alam kung paano to ginamit. So na-establish na po yun. So I think on that note, hindi naman para sa amin, we don't actually need to present Colonel Lachica.
Okay, thank you, Kong.
Meron pa ba mga katanungan? Joy? Go ahead.
Good afternoon po, Kongs. Sir, yung niraise po ni Senator Pangilinan kanina na yung pagbabayad ng mga informants, it seemed na mga sakitin po at hindi gumagaling. Meron po bang legal basis na magbayad ka ng confidential funds sa mga informers na mga sakitin, hindi gumagaling? Hindi po ba makukompromise naman yung operation kung ang pipiliin may mga sakitin po? Walang
I mean, to be honest, hindi naman ibig sabihin kapag may sakit ka, ay hindi ka na pwedeng maging informant. The bigger question here is, meron ba talagang nagawa or nabigay na information? Yan yung pinaka-importante. Kasi minsan pwede yan na may sakit, may hypertension, may diabetes, pero gamay niya ang mga galawan dun sa probinsya, dun sa mga bundok-bundok, dun sa mga bayan. Pero ang bigger question kasi is, talaga bang may informant? Talaga bang may binigyan ng gamot, na yung binigyan ng gamot ay nakapagbigay ng impormasyon na nasugpo ang droga, karahasan, sindikato?
Pero on the last quarter, tinanggal doon sa utilization or liquidation report. Bakit? Dahil lumabas na yung AOM. Diba? Lumabas na yung Audit Observation Memorandum na, uy, teka lang, mukhang hindi tama yung paggamit ninyo. So, ibig sabihin, kung talagang ginagamit ito dahil alam nilang merong choice yung mga informants to choose yung gamot ang gusto or sila nang bumili ng mga gamot, hindi nila yung ginawang reason kung bakit ganun, but to just simply remove that to avoid any possible technical problem or legal problem that they may face in relation to the auditing process that is subject to these confidential funds per quarter. So yun ang titingnan mo. Meron talagang, uy, teka lang, tanggalin na lang natin to kasi baka sabi nga ni Senator Kiko Pangilinan, baka naman talagang walang may sakit or hindi lahat gumaling. Baka naman nakita lang ng COA, kaya tinanggal nyo yung mga ganitong klaseng pamamaraan ng pagbabayad ng reward through medical supplies. So yun ang tatandaan. Again, always go back to the auditing problem that is now being faced by the OVP and the Department of Education. Yun ang pinakamalaking punto na kinakailangan nating malaman.
Sir, yesterday po sinabi po ni Colonel Lachica, ready na po siya to tell the truth. Since na siya po yung missing link dito sa disbursement of confidential fund, do you believe him po? What can you say?
We welcome, no? Unang-una, hindi namin alam kung talaga bang sinabi niya yon kasi post no? Sa nakita ko lang. Yung pag-invite kay Colonel Lachica as a witness is being seriously discussed. Pero titingnan rin natin, kasi sa pagkakaalam rin namin, is baka ipatawag din siya ng defense.
Or ng impeachment court.
O ng korte mismo. At sa pagkakaintindi nga namin, nung naririnig namin, meron naman ding kaakibat na parallel investigations na ginagawa yung Office of the Ombudsman. So hinihintay namin at tinitingnan yung lahat ng bagay na ito, na unang-una is ayaw naman namin makadistract. Na dapat yung schedule ng pagpatawag sa kanya ay hindi makakaistorbo dun naman sa mga patawag sa kanya sa Office of the Ombudsman, if ever meron ng ganong mga schedule. But that was what we gathered yesterday. Pero tingnan natin ng mas malalim, no? Ang sinasabi ni Gina Acosta, binigay niya kay Colonel Lachica sang-ayon sa utos ng kanyang superior, in this case, the Vice President. Ang sinasabi naman ni Sir Lemuel Ortonio, pinirmahan niya yung mga papel, hindi niya alam yung lahat ng bagay, pero yung saan paggagamitan, ang pagkaintindi niya ay syempre alam yun ng nag-utos sa kanya, ang kanilang immediate superior. Totoo, maraming may sasagot si Colonel Lachica. Subalit, mas matutuldukan talaga ito, masasagot ang lahat ng mga katanungang hindi pa nasasagot kapag ang sumagot ay yung atin talagang Vice President. Again, the impeachment court is the best opportunity for the Vice President to clean her name, to vindicate her name, to prove the complainants wrong, and to put an end to this impeachment trial.
Isa na lang po. Sabi po kanina ni Senator Padilla, kailangan daw ng confidential fund during the state of war. Wala naman po tayo sa state of war kasi armed conflict po yan. And wherein the AFP is shifting to external defense under the comprehensive archaeologic defense concept, since minimal na lang po yung numbers ng mga NPA dati. Tapos nabanggit nga rin po itong Siling Labuyo, si ano po yun? Na ano yung mga pangalan nila? Ano ba, World War II pa ito di masalang si Rizal po yan, Siling Labuyo, si General Luna, Fates American War Era, si Emilio Jacinto Tikbalang. Hindi po ba dapat bigyan natin ng due respect to mga mga heroes natin kasi ibang situation naman po yun. Wala naman talaga silang confidential para i-relate dito
Pero
sa
before namin sagutin yun, ma'am, linawin lang natin. Ito narinig mo sa great-grandfather mo kasi alam ko nasa 32 ka pa lang, ma'am, di ba? 31.
history po yan eh.
Oh, sa history, tama. Oh, hindi natin naabutan lahat yun.
Lahat, kaya nagulat din nga po si Attorney May De Benagracia, Attorney De Benagracia, ito hindi pa yata ako pinapanganak kasi parang nakita namin medyo na-confuse siya doon sa tanong.
Yeah. Unang-una, yung sinasabing state of war, yes, meron tayong mga rebelde na nasa taas, although kumonte na talaga sila. Tama naman na ito yung paggastusan. Pero ang katanungan nga, ibalik natin. Kasi kung ang pinaggastusan natin, ito yung output ng confidential fund, di pag-usapan natin nasaan yung concrete output. May report yan eh. Ulitin natin, confidential yung informant. Nalapastangan pa yung pangalan ng ating mga bayani kasi ginamit sila sa ganyang bagay. At syempre, nakakahiya ito. Bilang Pilipino, irespeto natin yung ating mga bayani, wag na wag nating ilapastangan ang kanilang mga pangalan. Malaki ang naging sakripisyo nila para sa atin. No words can describe the insult that we are giving to our heroes sa ganyang paraan. Pero ibalik natin dito sa usapan. Kung merong insurgency, merong rebellion, at ginabitan mo ng milyon-milyong confidential fund, dapat maipakita natin, ito ang nabawas sa rebellion. Ito ang nabawas na kriminalidad. Ito ang nasugpo ng mga drug pusher. Ito yung na-entrap at napahinto ng mga shabu laboratory. Yan lang. Ganun lang kasimple. Parang kumbaga binigyan mo ng pondo, o ito merong 100 million. Pakainin lahat ng estudyante. Pwedeng hindi natin alam sino ang namalengke. Pwedeng hindi natin alam saan binili yung kanin, gulay, manok at baboy. Pero alam mo sino mga estudyante ang pinakain. It's as simple as that. Hindi na ito dapat pinapahaba. Marami ng tanong ang nasagot. Isa na lang ang hindi nasasagot. Totoo ba ang pinaggamitan o hindi? Maraming salamat.
Ng confidential funds na parang ang gumagamit at hindi naman po sinabi ng prosecution na gumagamit yun ng alias. Yung alias po na issue ay doon po lumabas kay Ms. Gina Acosta at hindi po siya sigurado na alias nga yung ginagamit kasi nga hindi niya nakita yung actual na pagbibigay ng pera sa mga kay Ms. Ngit-Ngit, sa mga kung ano-anong pangalan na nakita natin. Baka kaya ang buong bayan nag-assume na mga alias ito kasi nga sa totoo lang naman wala naman talagang pangalan na ako, tayo lahat po tayo pumasok sa eskwelahan. Wala ko tayong na-meet ni isang tao na ang apelido ay pusa or pagong or bilat. Hindi ho ba? So, kaya tayo, nagtataka din po tayo. Baka naman ito yung mga aliases. May lapid pa nga doon eh. Kaya nga tumayo si Senator Lapid, bakit nyo naman ginagamit? Kung kamag-anak ko yan, sabihin nyo sa akin kasi gusto ko yung pasalamatan. Kung alias naman, bakit nyo ginagamit yung apelido namin ng mga alias tapos pinapapirma-pirma nyo pa sila? Yun po yung usapin dito. Hindi po usapin dito kung tama ba na magkaroon ng alias ang isang circumstance kung saan meron pong giyera, no? Or meron pong mga dapat protektahan na mga informants. Ang pinag-usapan po dito ito bang si Miss Mary Grace Piatos na tumanggap ng worth of 70,000 pesos na wala po sa record sa PSA na mukhang ang kanyang pirma po ay hindi rin po nag-authenticate ng NBI. So ito ba ay totoong tao? Yun lang po yung usapin dito, no? Hindi ho namin alam kung bakit po napunta tayo doon sa mga panahon kung saan ay ang ating mga bayani ay nagbuwis ng buhay para lang magkaroon po tayo ng kalayaan. Ay dapat kailangan pa ho silang gamitin para po, again, I'm sorry to say, with all due respect, it's a poor attempt to make it appear like the confidential funds was done in a way to display a degree of patriotism on the part of the head of the agency. No, it's unfortunately ICFAO says no, it is not.
Sabi nga po ni Kong Zia, hindi po yun ang paksa. Ang paksa po yung maling paggamit at abuso po sa paggamit ng confidential funds. So, off topic po, noted na lang po siguro.
Kongs, Melanie Reyes po, Radyo Pilipinas. Tapos na po yung 3 buwan ng impeachment. Papasok na tayo, sir, sa September, July, August, 2 buwan. So, sir, 2 buwan na natapos, week 9, tapos na. Malayo-layo pa. Ang October, yung sinasabi ni Kong Jervil na by October matatapos yung presentation. Kamusta po kayo? Kasi double time kayo ngayon sa mandato nyo. Merong budget hearing, may pangangailangan yung distrito, and itong impeachment. Kamusta po ang prosecution team?
Siyempre, ang gusto naman ng prosecution is surgical. Ibig sabihin ng surgical, yung precise lahat ng galaw, walang wasted na oras, walang wasted na tempo. Yun naman, from the start, klaro naman po sa side namin yun. Kasi nga po, pag nakahanda ka, hindi mo kailangan mag-beat around the bush, di ba? Saka po, kaya tinatarget natin hanggang katapusan para po pagdating na November 1, November 2, makapagtirik naman din po kami ng kandila sa aming mga, at makauwi na po sa aming mga probinsya kasi magbe-break na rin po ang House by then, magbe-break na po ang Kongreso. Sa tingin ko naman po, kaya po yung timeline na na-raise kahapon ni Kong Jinky. Kasi sabi nga ni Zia kanina, pag satisfied na po at enough na yung sustansya ng nape-present po at nailalatag po ng prosecution, then we try to move on to the next.
Actually, kayang-kaya. If there's a will, there's a way. Siyempre, minsan, kulang ng tulog. Minsan, kulang ng mga love life. Kaya yung mga single at yung mga naging single na sa amin ay tila nagkakaroon ng mga crush sa loob. Special mention pala dun sa Bombo Reporter. Talagang daming nagagandahan dun sa... Oo. Ang sabi nila, cute daw. Ang sabi ko lang, taga Iloilo kasi yan, kaya maganda. Oo. Diba, Congressman Pau Power? Yung nasa phone mo, andyan yung picture niya eh. Tinatago mo sa phone mo. Ipakita ko mamaya. Oo. Ay, hindi ko pa pala pwede sabihin yun, pero talagang ayan Hindi, ano naman yan? Friendly admiration. De, pero seriously, ganun naman talaga yung buhay natin, no? Pwede kang mag-multitask. At kakibat dun sa multitasking ay talagang tatapusin at ginagampanan namin ang trabaho namin sa Kongreso at dito sa impeachment court. So kayang-kaya dahil obligasyon namin yan, hindi lang sa aming kanya-kanyang distrito. It's our constitutional mandate to perform.
Alright. Dahil sa kailangan pa nilang mag-multitask, kailangan natin pong putulin ngayon ang ating panayam. Maraming salamat po ulit kay DS Garin, kay DS Power Tega at kay Congressman si Alonto Adyong. Maraming salamat po sa ating lahat. Magandang hapon.